Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. You guys already know this video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, today we're going to talk about Airbnb and really the realities of owning Airbnbs. And I thought, what better time and place to do that than when I was on vacation myself, renting an Airbnb from somewhere where Airbnbs belong, which is right next to the ocean. And you guys may be able to see here, just depending on my aperture. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm walking through a neighborhood that is completely designed for Airbnbs, or rather short-term investment. Now, while I've been on vacation, I was also able to talk to someone that owns an Airbnb, and also someone that has been a local here that has seen this entire coastal city turn into, basically short-term investments. So starting with the pros of actually owning Airbnbs and why they're so popular is a lot of times you can make a ton of money as an investor in Airbnb. And I was talking to someone that actually owned an Airbnb the other night, and they made a good point. With these coastal houses like this, that are right on the ocean, essentially one of the biggest ones on the street makes over $500,000 in rent. So the thing is, and they made a good point, that the owner of one of the best Airbnbs on this blocks can essentially have 4 months out of the year where he doesn't even rent the Airbnb, and it's still cash flowing, gross cash flow obviously, of $500,000. So that's why there have been so many investors that want to jump into Airbnbs, because they assume that it cash flows so well. Essentially what's going to happen is the rich are going to learn a lesson, because unfortunately, as we're learning with Airbnbs, is they got so popular that they became pretty heavy thing in residential neighborhoods. And that's the problem, guys, is owning short-term rentals in residential neighborhoods, because of the nature of Airbnb. And the nature of Airbnb is essentially it's like a hotel, right? And here's the thing, guys, hotels are actually more convenient, but they're running, Airbnbs in residential neighborhoods short term, and the problem is there's so many different tenants, you don't know who's renting your property. And not only are there a whole bunch of different tenants, they're going to destroy your property. I mean, that's the nature of the game. They're going to go in there, they're going to destroy it. So the problem is with all of these investors purchasing these short-term rentals in residential neighborhoods, now these HOAs are changing rules, or changing guidelines, and they're now making these Airbnbs or short-term rentals essentially forbidden to take place in certain subdivisions. So as a result of all of the demand for Airbnbs in the residential neighborhoods and all of that, and essentially disturbing the natives and the locals, it's getting shut down. But places like this, as you can see here, this is going to be a lot more relevant to Airbnbs because it's on a coastal city where there's a lot of tourism. So one of the other problems that I've noticed with these Airbnbs, guys, is demand appears to be crippled. When I was out here walking the beach at night, I noticed that maybe 3 of the Airbnbs that were on the water were full of people. And there's probably a total of, maybe close to 70 Airbnbs on the street. So the fact that only 3 had lights on basically demonstrates to us that right now, with the possible recession, people just are not booking Airbnbs. So if you're thinking about investing in an Airbnb, guys, you may not want to do that because of all of these things, because demand is absolutely being crippled because of the recession, quantitative tightening, and things of that nature. Plus also the tenants are a huge hassle. You never know who you're going to deal with. The maintenance is out of control with these Airbnbs. And not only that, as a consumer, because I'm a consumer right now, it's a bit of a hassle to rent this Airbnb because they require me to do all the dishes, do laundry, do sweeping. So I have to clean the house that I'm renting right now, and they charge me a huge cleaning fee. So in other words, it's not necessarily financially better to rent an Airbnb right now. And consumers are starting to figure that out. And in matter of fact, guys, the only reason that I even agreed to rent this condo, which is right on the beach, is it was $109 a night. So they had to drop it to $109 a night just to earn my business. So quite frankly, guys, investors are getting spanked right now, and all of the wealthy are gonna get hurt and learn a lesson, unfortunately, if they're not properly prepared. Now, this is the last video, guys, I'm gonna do on vacation. And do me a favor, I don't know if I asked already, but like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, shoot me a comment, let me know if you guys like this. But I think talking about Airbnbs is especially important, guys, because it is very, very popular. And you know, me, myself, as someone that wants to be a real estate investor, you know, I'm a little skeptical with the Airbnb because quite frankly, it is seeming to fail. But the thing is Airbnb and short-term rentals have always done well on coastal cities and right on the coastlines. The Airbnbs that are on the single-family residences and the neighborhoods, those are the ones that I'm really scared about, because again, the HOA can come in and completely forbid you from doing any type of short-term rentals. And that's not something that I want to invest in. I don't want to put my money in jeopardy like that. Not to mention, you know, in my opinion, Airbnbs don't even belong in residential neighborhoods. So I'm gonna hold off myself personally on doing any type of short-term rentals. Now, what I believe will happen is, as a result of demand being crippled, I think people are gonna start selling their Airbnbs. I think they're gonna liquidate and turn to cash. And one of the other people, because I've been talking to a lot of people, guys, you guys know that I can talk and run my mouth, you know, pretty well. So that's exactly what I've been doing on vacation. But I talked to another person that just bought an Airbnb. She's owned an Airbnb for 1 year, and it's about 10 miles from the ocean. And it is it's a single family residence in a neighborhood. So when I was talking to her, she said for the last month and a half, it's been completely dead. And you know, she's worried, and she's been noticing in her little circle of Airbnb and short-term rental investors that right now a lot of investors are actually trying to sell their homes, their Airbnbs. So, you know, it is possible that if you're looking for a normal home, single-family residence, you know, you may be able to pick up a fairly good deal from a previous Airbnb owner that wants to liquidate their property and sell for under market value. So that's something to definitely look at, you guys. Obviously, I could see my camp like way down. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but this is absolutely stunning. So basically, I've been at the beach for the last 4 days, right on the beach. I've been fishing, doing land-based shark fishing, tag and release, all conservation stuff. Really, you guys, just having a break, trying to refocus. I've been a little bit burnt out with the channel, just putting out content. And you guys know my primary focus is obviously in first-time home buyers, right? So first-time home buyers, be definitely cautious. But I'm also talking to first-time investors, because a lot of the first-time investors, you know, unfortunately are gonna purchase still based on emotion, you know, and something that they think is gonna, you know, do well, something that they, think looks beautiful. But remember, if you're a first-time investor, and again, that's not necessarily what my channel is designed for, but if you are a first-time investor, remember, the name of the game is cash flow. Don't even step foot into a house that you possibly want to invest in unless you know that that property properly cash flows. And again, you know, these people that are jumping into these Airbnbs, you know, either they'll liquidate if Airbnb collapses and short-term rentals collapses. So either they'll liquidate their homes or they're gonna turn them into long-term rentals. Now, if Airbnb owners continue to turn their properties convert them into long-term rentals, obviously that's gonna continue to flood what? The rental market, which is gonna put more pressure on rents going down. And if we have a rent crisis and rent starts to plummet, you guys, the rich is gonna get hurt, the middle class, the lower class. I mean, right now, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but we're going through a pretty incredible transfer of wealth right now. You know, I see a lot of the nation turning into a nation of rentals, which is even more of a reason, guys, that you have to be very careful who you listen to, and you have to stay empowering yourself. So if you were thinking about investing in Airbnb, here's what I'm gonna say. Wait until there's blood on the streets. Wait until these Airbnb investors want to liquidate and sell their homes for cheap. And definitely do not get an Airbnb in a residential neighborhood, okay? Because that is going to be bad. Obviously, Las Vegas, you know, shut that down, places in California, but there are places all over now across the world, guys, that are shutting down Airbnbs. So you got all the maintenance, you got all the cleaning, you got demand going down. Airbnb has a bad reputation. I mean, there's a lot of, there's a lot of cons right now to owning Airbnb, and with their, and with so much dust being in the air, guys, I just think, it's going to create less demand for Airbnbs. I think investors are going to continue to get hurt. I think well-prepared buyers are going to do well. And remember, guys, if you're a well-prepared buyer, good credit, good income, lots of money saved, no consumer debt, you're going to be the king of the housing market. So be careful when you jump back in. We're in a rare situation, guys, remember, where the longer we wait, the better deals we should get, because the longer we wait, the more pain people will go through, specifically new home builders and investors. So let them go through pain, guys. And then what we'll do is we'll come in, we'll buy the houses for pennies on the dollar, and we'll come back to my channel and we'll say, thank you, Travis. We found a good deal. We definitely appreciate you. At least that's what I hope, guys. I want all of you to win like me. Now, obviously, it's so hard for me not to buy a house right now. I want to buy a house. I found a house I love. It's just the price isn't right, but I hate renting, guys. I can't wait to not rent anymore. It is what it is. I think they got a fish up here. I gotta go, guys. I'm gonna get back to vacation. I love you. Do me a favor again. Comment below, hit notifications, help me push the message. But right now, guys, let the market play out. There's still way too much dust in the air. And what we need to do right now is continue to empower ourselves as potential buyers. Now, other than that, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got some insights, perspective, and value. And if you're out there investing in real estate, I wish you luck, and I hope you win.